Blessed love to one and all. This is the Honorable Priest Isaac, co-founder of Rastafari Experience Antigua. For almost 2 decades, I have been advocating for the preservation and development of our national treasure here in Antigua, Green Castle Hill. For those who have read my ebook, Anu, Ancient and Modern, you would know of the importance of this hill, Green Castle Hill, that has countless of megaliths that align with the movements of the astronomical clock. This is scientifically proven. Although my organization has been mandated by the government of this land and the Department of the Environment to manage and oversee the development of this hill, Green Castle Hill, we are still humbly asking for your signature on our petition to stop the destruction of the hill as it's being used as a quarry site. This petition can be seen on petitionsite.com, Green Castle Hill. We of Rastafari Experience Antigua have also recently launched a GoFundMe page under the caption, Preserve and Protect Green Castle Hill. As we are the official custodians of this project, we are asking you to also visit our GoFundMe page and avail yourself of the information that we have placed there, which will give you a better idea of our plans for the future. Besides preserving the hill, our intention is to create a community that will connect the ancient history of Green Castle Hill with the generations in this modern time. As this unique national treasure has been totally forgotten about for a while, we now intend to beautify it with trees and plants that once covered the hill. We will be preparing a park for nationals and visitors to come and enjoy the scenery. Cottages, conference rooms, and the like will also be established to create an atmosphere conducive to visitors. In short, we are preserving this national treasure and giving it the respect that it deserves as the Stonehenge of the Caribbean. Green Castle Hill, help us to preserve this gem in the Caribbean. Blessed. Summary: African History / Heritage. K. Class 70. The Ethiopian Kingdom of Aksum is considered to be the oldest ancient Christian kingdom in Ethiopia and internationally. Historically, it is said to have established the Order of Christ under the rulership of King Izana around the 3rd century AD. But according to biblical account in the book of Acts chapter 8, Ethiopia was a Christian kingdom centuries before that. Aksum is well renowned for its obelisks, also known as the Tekken, and it is said to be the home of the world-renowned Ark of the Covenant. Blessed love. Oh yes, blessed love to each and every one. Give thanks for your presence with us. Of course, you know you're definitely in the tiger's nest. We have a wonderful presentation for you this evening. In a few moments, the Honorable Priest Dougie will be joining us. Yes, the Honorable Priest is a member of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, which of course he will be visiting us in such a capacity as always. But he will be coming somewhat dovetailing, I would say, on the heels of Empress Marina Blake, Of course, you know, a few evenings ago, we had Sister Honorable Empress Marina Blake with us, and we were speaking about what? We were speaking about the new faculty of understanding in Rastafari. So Honorable Priest Dougie will be here with us, and he will be going into some of that here in the Tiger's Nest. And just a moment ago, you would have seen us highlighting, of course, our homeschool program. And let me say the homeschool program definitely is available for all, you know, young ones. As I said, we begin from K and work our way upwards. This is a curriculum that we have put together dealing directly with astronomy and African history and heritage. And of course, this is a program that we offer via the internet online, where yourself or your children, you get the program every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, on Thursday, pardon me, specifically, it is between 20 to 30 minutes, you know, just enough to grab the attention and make sure the information come out. I'm not afraid nor ashamed to say, if you are to introduce this to your children, I am telling you, as far as their knowledge as it relates to the cosmos, it will definitely enhance. You will see that for sure. As far as their respect and love for the Afrocentricity or for Africa in general, this is something that will be visibly noticed by yourself. You know, our program is set and designed, you know, to create a love and appreciation in the hearts of our little ones, whether they're 3 years old, 2 years old, 4, 5, 6, 7, going up into teenager. I mean, even you as a big person, you could start our international homeschool program from kindergarten, and I'm sure it would add to your life, definitely. So the homeschool program is available. It is via video. It's not audio like the shock of the other hour. It's via video. And since I'm saying that, let me highlight this now. On the 25th day of October, write that down. This is 2020, yeah? On the 25th day of October, all parents, please listen to me. On the 25th day of October, that's a Sunday, at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, we will be having a special online homeschool presentation. Myself, the young prince and the young princess will be here with me, as we are the hosts of the International Homeschool. And what will we be doing on that Sunday? We will be homeschooling. So bring your children, bring the whole family, you know, set up, sit in the living room. This will not be on YouTube now. This is just like the lecture we did Sunday gone. Oh, what a wonderful lecture. People are still emailing and saying they had a wonderful time. People are still saying they did not expect it would have been all of that. I mean, it really was a nice evening we spent. That was the 4th of October, just a few days ago, when we had Rastafari and the Cosmos. And of course, you know, we have a wonderful lecture coming up for the 1st of November. But before we get there, as I said, the Sunday before the 1st of November, which is the 25th of October, 3 in the afternoon, not 7 in the night, 3 in the afternoon. I repeat, Sunday, the 25th day of October, 3 in the afternoon, we'll be having a wonderful presentation online. We'll be utilizing the very same webinar platform that we utilized for the previous lecture. So I'm looking forward to seeing you. And this is totally free, eh? You do not have to pay for this. The only thing you have to do is to email me. You don't have to go to no Cash App. Just email me at priestisaac27@gmail.com and say, well, Honorable Priest, I would like to be a part of the homeschool presentation for Sunday the 25th. Can't just say for the homeschool program, eh? Because, I mean, I might send you more information on the homeschool program, but you could get that too, because the homeschool program is going. You understand? Children are already progressing. You know what I mean? Children are becoming wiser and learning about the stars and the makeup of planets. That's where we carry them. They're learning about their African leaders. They're learning about their African culture. They're even learning the makeup of the soil of specific countries in Africa. So this is real serious on a kindergarten level. So you could imagine as they grow, they have a stronger appreciation for it. But as I said, we'll be having a whole hour of free homeschool, and we're offering it to everyone. Of course, our homeschooling our homeschool scholars. We like to call them scholars. They will be there for sure. And I'm inviting all of you. You don't have to be a part of the homeschool program. You will be a part because you are now joining us. And of course, this will not be on YouTube. It's not like a Zoom meeting, none of that stuff. We will be utilizing a specific webinar site and webinar platform. So you would have to contact me and we will just give you the key that you could come in. But at the same time, specifically for this, we are saying that we be prepared. We may have to ask you a few questions. Just, simple questions. We don't want your social security number. We don't want your address. We don't want none of that. We don't care if you're married or not. We're not into none of that. This is not the levels of Babylon, because that's how Babylon do it. You'll be surprised the things that you have to tell them just to download some sort of app. You'll be surprised. But anyway, I'm looking forward to all of you. But the Sunday after that now, that will be our next grand lecture, not just for an hour. How long we were in the house the other night? 2 hours, 2 hours worth of knowledge, information, and interacting with the audience. This is Sunday, the 1st of November now. You could definitely, join us for that event. That is Sunday, the 1st of November, 7 p.m. Eastern Caribbean time. We'll be talking about Rastafari and the womb man. Of course, I'll be the presenter. Remember, you could definitely, just like the previous lecture, you could make your contribution or pay your admission fee by using the Cash App. And remember, the Cash App itself is Atonra 2723. And if you have some sort of a problem using the Cash App, of course, you could email us precisaac27@gmail.com and we will give you, whatever alternative means there is available or they are available for you to make that transaction so that you could get your key, so you could come in to the lecture room on the 1st of November. That is the eve before the eve of the coronation, and that is the coronation of Haile Selassie and Empress Menen, which is officially the 2nd of November. So the evening of the 1st of November, the 7 p.m., Rastafari and the womb man. Oh, it will be exciting. It's going to be a very deep lecture. I mean, well, I won't say similar to what we just did a few evenings ago, because all of them are different. But to be honest, this will be somewhat of a continuation, because we're not just going to be talking about the woman and woman's rights and what women have a say in Rasta and all of that. We will touch a little of that, but we're going into the cosmos. Can't you see the galaxy behind here? We're going into the cosmos. You see the womb. Many sisters do not even understand how the cycle of the woman really works within the uterus. We're going to be talking of all of that. Yeah, and connecting it to the science of the Ankh, the science of life. That's why they're there. So I'm looking forward to your presence. That will be on the 1st of November. All right. As I said, the Honorable Priest Dougie should be joining me. Priest Douglas, officially, should be joining me in a few moments. So while we wait on the good brother, I guess you will be cash apping us. Of course, don't wait until the last moment. You know what we had to do the last time when the house got full? Well, to be honest, there were more people that signed up than actually came into the house the evening. But whatever the case is, when it gets rammed, we have to you have to upgrade your program, So seats are limited. Although we kind of expanded it, it's still limited. I wouldn't advise you to wait until the day before. You should go right ahead and prepare yourself. All right, while we wait on the Honorable Priest, let us do this. Yes, blessed love, once again, definitely you are right here in the tiger's nest. And as I promised to my audience, we have the Honorable Priest Dougie here with us, Honorable Priest Douglas, all the way from, well, to be honest, I don't even know where he is, but he's here with us in the tiger's nest. Definitely the shock of the hour. And of course, as I said before, we will be talking about the new faculty of understanding within Rastafari. As you know, a few days ago, we had the Honorable Empress Marina with us, the Honorable Empress Marina Blake with us. And we did have a very spirited reasoning and discussion. And the good brother, the Honorable Priest, is also a member of that organization. So we'll be getting into a bit of that. Yes, Honorable Priest Dougie, give thanks for having you on the platform for the first time, my Lord.
My Lord, give thanks, Priest Isaac, you know. Give thanks to the privilege to bless up the eye and bless up the eye listeners, you know, and viewers.
True. Of course, you know, as a member of the Congress, I know enough, not enough, but I, you know, always hear of you and would have seen you as well, different pictures and clips and so, but it's the first time we actually exchanging any words, at least to my knowledge, not unless something missed me. So great privilege, my Lord, and do give thanks. I don't know if you want to begin by just telling the audience a little bit about yourself, if there's anything that you think they should know before we go straight into our reasoning this evening, my Lord, especially as a priest of the Congress itself too, you know.
Well, I think that says it all, you know, and I kind of grew up in the Congress. From the age of 12, I behold the Father, and, you know, it's been
12.
Yeah. So from them time, there's been I trod, and I just embrace it and love it and live it, you know. So give thanks, you know. Give thanks to the teaching of the man, you know, God to carry and I through to this Iowa, prepare and I for this perilous time in which I find myself. You know, so give thanks and, you know, to all ones who embrace this liberty, I man send love, you know, give thanks.
But I'm sorry to come in so quick, but I'm interested. When you say you hold it at the age of 12, you mean as Bobo, because I know enough ones will say they side Ras early, but you know, maybe when they're a little older, they locks up or they kind of free up themselves from parents or whatever. When you say at the age of 12, you sight up King Emmanuel, you mean you started to feel the vibes? Give me a little rundown on that. It sounds like something deeper in that we like to hear.
I man was in school. I man was in high school. You know? And during that Iowa, during them days there, and I love karate movie and them things. So and I usually, you know, school on the Wednesday for taking the new release.
The flick, yeah.
So usually on a Monday now, would I get the Star, the newspaper, and I look through it to see which new release coming out and so forth. So this special week, I man get a newspaper and looking through it, and I saw an article about the Father with a headshot of the Father, and I cite up words and sounds that I have never heard, words put together in the way I never hear it. Them time there, as a youth in high school, repatriation was a new word for I. Black Christ was something brand new to I, man. I never hear them two words put together before.
Black and Christ.
Black Redeemer and them things there. You know, the article state all of these things, you know, 7 mile and 13 mile of high water ship. All these things sounded very different to I. So I decided to say, I have to find this man since him is within my reach, and I have to behold what this man is defending and dealing with. So a couple of days later, I man decided to say, I go school, but I now go movie this time. I go head for the camp.
Wow.
Now, this is the first time I, as a youth, 12 years of age, went trod without I parents them, you know, chaperoning I through. So I leave school, I take a bus, go down Kingston, with them called Parade. I go down there. Then I ask the Eagle them, the one them who have vent on the road, which bus take I go Bull Bay. Until I say X98 them time there.
98.
Yeah, X98. So I go around to I'm sure I wish part to go. I go around to the bus terminus, get a bus, jump in, ride, reach out to Bull Bay. But you know, when I come off of the bus, I head down to the beach, because when I ask about the Rasta village, them I tell I on the beach. There was a Rasta village on the beach, but it was a fishing village where portion of Naya being the heights.
Yeah, we know that.
Set up on there. So when I reached down there, I realized that no, this is not our location. So I inquire again, and the one them said, look up. When I turn and look up on the hill, I see the red, gold, and green
city.
Yeah, the city that cannot be hid, you know, sitting 10 miles from the bloody city, on the northeast side of Warwick there. So I man make the trod about a mile and change from where I was. And as I get closer, I could hear the drum beat, and it get louder and louder. And same way it get louder and louder, it's the same way my heart a beat louder and louder. Because as a youth, as the reality approach, you still have some apprehension and some form of fear of the unknown, you know. But interest, something was pulling I that was deeper than the fear. So I go through. When I reach up, I reach at the camp gate, I see the arch with all of the painting on it and all of the psalms and the gate and them things, and just unusual and magnificent to I man. So I man knock on the gate, and lo and behold, a virgin come and open the gate. It was the Honorable God, Janil. Priest Neil at the time, Priest Neil at the time. Welcome I man, invite I man in, and you know the ritual. We go in, take out everything out of our pocket, put on all of the worldly possessions, and face the east, and the priest lead up a prayer. You know, and then welcome I in, write I name into the guest book and so forth, and send a word go to the father that I is here, you know, visiting the camp. And that was I entering into Zion, that Iowa, my Lord. And from that day until this day, I'm on love I live, and go and live I live.
Rastafari. So I interested. You came back periodically to the camp from that moment. You had to do a little study now.
Yeah, because I go school and I live with my parents. So what I do, I come every Sabbath.
Wow. As a youth,
and
12.
Every time I come, and every time I come, I carry 2 or 3 one with I. If you go around the place, you can find several man. I go tell you, say, Simon carry them on the scene at that time. You thought I was moving together as Rasta youth rising up.
Enough respect.
So I got through and believe my Lord, and this is where we are at this Iowa. Now, I said I don't know where I am. Well, at this present moment, I am in Florida.
Yeah, true.
You know, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for a moment amongst our youths and our family. I really reside on the rock in Jamaica, dealing with the medical, you know, ganja and so forth and so on.
So when did I see King Emmanuel first? At them young stage there, you personally, not really, maybe not meet him, but see him. Maybe you can give me a little to see him and then to meet him, unless the both of them is the same thing.
Well, at the time,
because I'm interested, you know, especially at that young age to see, well, when because as I said, they don't carry a word that you hear.
It was a privilege because, hear the thing now, it was a privilege because that day when I reach on there, it happened that I khaki and a next brethren out of high school, from a next high school, then I'm khaki to later on I would become great brethren up to this Iowa, Priest Keaty. Priest Keaty came just as young as I, man. Them, coming in to come see me get drawn to the vibe from that inner calling. You know, see it. As a matter of fact, during Iman entering into the camp, shortly thereafter, maybe not even a year after, there was a wave of youths coming in because when I reached the camp, it was mostly ancient. You know, whole heap of grey beard man and whole heap of big man and, you know, them queen and so forth and so on. You know, shortly after Iman reaching, a wave of ones come, you know, see Iman age and younger. So it was the start of a new generation of Shanti. Well, all right. The day when I visit, you know, like I said, I move through and I meet Virgin and, you know, I see Wagwan and so forth. I take in the last part of the the days, the morning devotion, until finally Iman get called and said that Iman can have an audience with the Father. When Iman go round to the Father come out, I'm aboard. Bless Iman. Iman yell up the Father. Father go in and come back out to the picture. To the picture of the Black Christ. So he nailed to a cross. And I'm sure Iman say, yeah, this is where him represent. This is him. This is, he's the one who bear 5 bleeding wounds that I, the house of Israelite, can be ransomed. And him never have to say no more to I, my lord, just the man demeanor, the man humility, the man charisma, the man voice, like I could say, the sheep will know the shepherd's voice. Just the man voice, the words that the man said to I, man. Touch I, man, within my lord. I, man, from that time, I never left the man.
Rastafari.
Give thanks. Yes, my lord.
Yeah, we might come back to some of that. Maybe next time, guys. That you open a wholly different program there. But let me ask, if I'm correct, the previous time the Prince Ermias Selassie came to Jamaica, if I'm not mistaken, I saw a video with you being a part of the entourage.
Well, it was I who followed him to Jamaica for the.
Oh, well, please give me I don't know the fullness at all. You have to forgive I wouldn't mind getting a little, and I think that's a very important thing, if I could get a little understanding about that.
Well, the house of Rastas and Rastas in Jamaica, true, I is a pre-art soldier. I man have enough brothers and sisters among the other branches of the movement. And there was a collective group of ones come together and decided that them wanted to organize the 50th anniversary of the Emperor's visit on a certain level. Them and I never wanted to be just another moment, just another gathering, just another ISIS or just another celebration. We wanted it to have an impact. So there was a committee put together, and Iman was contacted to be a part of that committee. Iman representing organization here. When I say organization, I have a non-profit foundation that I am part of here, and I was representing that foundation at the time. My contribution to the celebration was to link Prince Ermias and invite him to be a part of it. This now came through Professor Michael Barnett from the University of the West Indies, who is also part of Roots Foundation. And both of I and I have a relationship with the Prince, long-standing. So as members, we both reached out to him. Mikey gave him the official invitation. Iman gave him the personal invitation. He had certain requirements, which we later met, and he agreed to come. And I, funded his visit in the sense of his airfare and so forth. The government of Jamaica, after seeing the magnitude of what the moment was, decided to make it more than just a private visit and gave him all the trimmings of a state visit. So instead of I and I having to foot the bill of putting him up, they put him up in Pegasus in Kingston. They gave us a limousine to carry him around and police outriders to, chaperone I and I through the streets and so forth. So we got the full trimmings from the government to make the moment even more grand than we had even anticipated. So and as it happened where he came, and we retraced the footprints of the Emperor, stopping at all the sites that the Emperor stopped, visiting all the different, the Michael College, the Jamaica College, the University of the West Indies, going to Mobay, visiting down in Mobay. Only thing that we did this time was we added a visit to all the mansions, all the groups of Rastafari, which maybe that's the video that I cite with I and I. I took him up to Bobo for a sabbatical visit. We went to the Nyabing headquarters, the 12 tribe headquarters. Everyone hosted him. Everyone had a certain type of event, small event, to welcome him and to host him for the moment.
Yeah, so there's a next official video where it kind of give you a little rundown of everything. So I did CDI going through, so give thanks to that.
And I was in security for the time that he was there, and at the time, and I had a villa in Montego Bay. He spent a night at the villa. We put him up again in one of the top all-inclusive hotels for a couple nights in Trelawney. He also spent a couple nights in Negril. I'm on a facility in Negril, a health facility in Negril, right on the beach. So he also spent a couple nights there. As a matter of fact, he expressed that it was the first in a long time that he got a chance to have some downtime with the Empress, with the princess. So it was an island moment. He spent 10 days with I, and I'm on give thanks for that, because I was able to reason with him, get certain clearance and understanding certain historical facts and so forth. So it was an island moment.
I could imagine.
And the princess was a very, very gracious and loving person, very, very, very royal in herself. So it was a privilege and an honor for Iman to be a part of that fullness, man.
Well, I give thanks that you could have expressed that. It sounded like an island moment. The fact that he would express that is the first in a while he get to simmer down with his, as you said, his empress, but the princess. Yes, I could imagine that was quite an island moment.
Yeah, and he didn't have anyone's, wanted to take picture and wanted to
I didn't see it.
The kind of attention that people like the Prince pull. He was able to have a moment with people too, because he was in a facility that had many guests there, but it was more a family setting.
Family setting, yes. Nice vibes, man.
And not be nice political. That's the word.
Yeah. Thanks, my Lord. Well, I'm going to come forward to ask you something specific about King Emmanuel, but not yet. Let us get to the topic for the evening. But thank you for those words, my Lord. Very inspiring, everything that you've said, I really...
For some reason, the sound.
My sound?
I can't hear the eye clear.
Okay, well, as we record into, I have to check it when I go back. But how are you hearing me now? You don't sound like you're hearing me at all. Yeah, it sounds like, what, it's soft or it's chipping or what? Where'd you get it? Okay. Well, it seems like the honorable priest, I don't know, maybe you have touched something because, my bandwidth and everything is very good here. I'm not getting any friction at all. You know how it is sometimes.
On my end.
I'm hearing you good, I'm hearing you good. I don't know why you wouldn't hear me.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
technical things. So.
But you're hearing something. You're hearing something.
The eye very, very lightly. Very,
tell you what.
Low.
Tell us about the new faculty, and let's see do you just tell us about the new faculty, and let me see if I could work this out.
Yes, my lad. Well, a group of group of ones who find themselves as elders in the trad today. It's our tenure now. We are the guards at the gate. And we find that, doing introspection on where we are, where we want to be, or where we should be, and how to get there. There was a lot of inconsistencies. So we decided to facilitate a discourse. Now, we're not forming any new organization, any new corporation, any new group. What we are doing, what the new faculty of understanding, group of ones are doing is facilitating
facility
and discourse among the family, the African Rastafari. So
I must say, now that you moving, oh my.
Your approach.
Yeah, I say now that you moving, now you're getting softer. You're not sticking or breaking up, but since you start to move, you're getting softer. So if you get, yeah, all right, it sounds good there though. Am I that soft? I can't be that soft. Why am I that soft?
I hearing you a little bit better now when I put things to my ear, so it's all
well,
good.
I would expect. But yeah, you could continue. But when you were moving, it kind of got a little off.
Yes, I am.
But go through. You sound very nice. Go through.
Well, as I was saying, you know, we are facilitating a discourse among the family, the African Rastafari family, to say what has stagnated the movement. Because remember now, and everyone needs to, you know, keep this in their mind, be cognizant of this. It's the Rastafari movement. The name, the title dictate, you know, the flow. We're supposed to be moving from, as our father teaches, from lowland to highland. We're supposed to be rising, evolving, growing. And for some reason, we have been stagnant with our development, our progressive development. And in some senses, regress, you know, dropping the ball, because many ones question the contribution of the ancient. The ancient, without the teaching and the equipment, the tools, the technology that I and I have, did their part. They deciphered the Bible. They were able to point people in the West here back to their African self, set us on a path to regain the knowledge of oneself. See, the Rastafari movement came into being as a resistance movement, not a religion. You know, we are a godly people and a spiritual people, so we infuse those kind of concepts and practices and principles into everything we do. But the Rastafari movement rose up out of oppression. The same time when the Mama Revolution taking place, and the Mama them rise up and I give the British hell in Kenya. You know, I and I rising up in the West. See, first in Jamaica, but then throughout all the islands. You understand? All the islands had a Rastafari revolution, where Rastafari rose up in the people, you know, defending the justice of the African race. See, well, what I and I, the group, the new faculty of Overstand, is attempting to do is to look at why we have been stagnated and how do we get out of this situation and chart a roadmap to where I and I, you know, destined to be, which is, you know, boom, in the arms of our mother Africa.
All right, positive. I don't know what happened, but the technology gone different. Because you are a bit soft. I get everything. I definitely get everything you said. But I don't know why everything went soft. As you said, I gone soft and you gone a little soft. I don't know why. Yeah. I don't know if what you could do, you want to just try to maybe go out and come back in quick. You know how to do that?
Yes, I.
Well, you see, you're sounding real nice there. I must say, you sound real nice. When you say, yeah, man, you sound real nice. I don't know if it's the frequency or what, but I wouldn't want you to go away and come back at all. But if it's that troublesome, because I understood what you're saying. I don't know if my audience would have gotten everything.
Right.
And you're saying I'm soft. I'm still soft, right?
Yeah, to a level. But I can hear you.
Well, so, that's when you put the thing all the way up in the area.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Let's see. But okay, I get what you're saying there. Good. So, and that's a good point you made there too for the audience. So, all right. So it's not a new group. It's not a new. I guess it has to be some level of an organization because it has a name, so it must be an organization to a degree. but I don't know what constitutes a group. I don't know if you have a constitution.
Let's just call it a committee. It's a
Okay,
ad
fair
hoc
enough.
committee in in place to facilitate the
To
discourse.
facilitate.
And
Okay,
when
yeah.
the discourse is started and the momentum is where it's supposed to be, the committee becomes an envoy. We just become part of the conversation. And
Okay, fair
the
enough.
people, I and I family will dictate, the course and the outcome.
Okay, so that means that the committee here then, basically, because I get the idea that most of the members on the committee have similar ideas, because that's the name, a new faculty of understanding. So is the committee, I don't think the committee would be.
And I don't want you to think that it was just like that. It took months and months of I putting in time, reasoning together, disagreeing and agreeing and disagreeing and agreeing, putting points and opinions and facts and history, even theology into the whole mix. So I could view the thing from intelligent level, from a pragmatic, realistic level, and from a religious level or a political level,
It gone bad there, King. King, it gone bad. It gone bad a while ago. I don't know. Sorry for this. You want just try go out and come back in, eh? See if you could end this meeting, go back to the link,
yes,
and just come in and let's see what happens. I will entertain the folks until you come again. Rastafari. So, yeah, just if you could go. Sometimes I don't know how to tell you go out now. You could end your end of the meeting. In fact, I should be able to kick you out. Not kick you out, really. You see how the language stay? Where is it? Where is it? I should be able to. Well, anyway, whatever the case is, my good brothers and sisters listening, I'm sorry. You got to really pardon me for the little crumbling there. I don't think it's on my end for sure. I honestly believe it's on the King's end. You're not out as yet, my lord. But we're going to make him go out and come back in. Okay, he's out now, so he'll come back in again. And when he comes in, we'll see exactly where it is. But basically, from what he's saying, so he's saying that the new faculty of understanding in the Rastafari is not necessarily a group. I was defining group, but he clarified that and he expressed, well, it's more so of like a committee. And really what it's there for is to facilitate the discussion. And obviously the discussion, I don't think the discussion is just amongst those who think that there is need for a new faculty of understanding. In fact, I believe the different parties, I think the two main parties would be those that are in agreement and those who would say, no, don't remove the ancient landmarks. So that is why I was just pointing out that from my perspective, and this is what the brother was saying when we had to change up. From my perspective, I get the impression, because I know a few members, let's say I know 3. I've watched the video, I think, with an African brother. I can't remember the good brother's name. And those that I know, including my Lord, well, I wouldn't include my Lord because I don't hear his fullness yet. But those that I would have come across, including Empress Blake and a few other ones, Ras Daniel, and the idea is that very similar, that within Rastafari, as my Lord just said, there's a little level of being stagnant. I don't think it's just being progressive economically, whatever, but in our ideology, in our thoughts, in our thinking, this is the impression that I'm getting. And if my Lord could hear me good, you're hearing me good now? Because what I am going to ask him, you see, especially since he spent some time with the Honorable, His Royal Highness now, the Prince Ermias, who is the grandson of Emperor Haile Selassie I. I did not say that initially, but for those who do not know, he is the grandson of Emperor Haile Selassie I. And there's a lecture that he has, that he did at, is it the Smithsonian Institute? Or one of these places. And the lecture was entitled The Lion of Judah. And in the Lion of Judah now lecture that he was giving, I hope everything is okay there.
My Lord.
Yes, my Lord.
All
Everything is
right.
blessed there.
Yes, I hear in there, you know.
Okay, I more than hearing you there.
All right.
Yeah, I was saying you and not seeing you yet, but I'm not wasting no more time. You sat with the prince, and although I don't have the letters of his lecture, but he gave a lecture entitled The Lion of Judah. Have you ever sat down and watched that when he did it at, I'm not sure, it's a university or
Yeah,
something?
my
Or
University of the West Indies. Yeah, yeah, man.
no,
Yeah.
it was not the University of West Indies. And maybe he did the same lecture
One.
there, but he
Yeah,
did a
he did.
lecture. It's on YouTube. It's
Mm-hmm.
either Smithsonian Institute or
No, are you talking about the Library of
right
Congress?
of Congress. Yes, the Lion
Yeah,
of Judah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
In
He did.
that lecture, I did a whole program about that maybe about 2.5 years ago. So I'm kind of a little rusty on his exact words because his words would be up for interpretation. So I'm not going to tell you this is what he means. But in listening to his words, I'm sorry I can't because it's, I didn't prep for that. So I can't give his exact words, but I'm sure you would have listened to that and I know you have spoken to him. But the impression that he gives, right, in his lecture, from my point of view, is that the Lion of Judah concept, even though he's a part of it, is something that is up for scrutiny then. Let's put it that way. What do you say? He speaks of it being he speaks a lot about mythology and allegory. And he uses these words constantly in his lecture and highlighting the Lion of Judah and the tradition that the
Yeah,
people uphold to. But then, we have to hold things accountable and true history. That's how he was giving the lecture. I did a whole
it's a,
program on it. But I'm
yeah,
just asking.
yeah, it's a political talk in the sense,
Okay,
it's
well.
politically correct talk in the sense that one thing we have to factor into this thing, the royal family has gone through a lot of intrigue. He has to play a role right now, and at that time he was playing a role in which he was trying to get forward his foot into Ethiopia, not anger the administration there, the government there. It was a very political,
I get you.
unstable, or sensitive time.
I get
So
that.
I won't make any comments about his speech. I
I
leave
get
that.
that too.
But in personal dealing, because he and I have dealt over the years, and I've dealt with the family even before him, because I met Asfa Wilson's wife, who was at the time the head of the family after Asfa Wilson had passed, and Jacob in Washington, in Maryland, where they resided for a moment before they returned home. And he was always held by the family as being an ambitious person. Now, when I first started to deal, that came across a lot to I, but over the years and over a time of interacting with Rastafari in different places, because he has gone around the world interfacing with Rastafari, he
For
has
sure. He's
learned.
come right here to Antigua too, eh? A good while now, about 20 years ago.
He has learned, and he's learning, because it's a learning curve for everyone. And no matter, because your name Prince, you don't know everything, and there is a lot that you don't know too. So he has learned and he's learning. So I leave it at that.
No problem, my lord. I have a different, although I would have sensed a bit of that too, eh? I think we were more looking at it as, how we look at things. This is what a man think and what a man believe and what you really say, and that kind of way.
He's not gonna see it the way
I get you.
I see it, but I have in reasoning with him. I mean, and we have sat down and I've been in reasoning with him when he's unloading, when he's having his stage, and he and his brethren them, and I've been able to ask questions, and some real pointed questions of him, and gotten answers. And my conclusion is he's a comrade. He's one of I and I.
I feel it.
You know, he loves Africa. He's about unity. He's very passionate about the refugees that have been forced out of their home country. As a matter of fact, he formed an organization to support them in any way that he can. You know, a lot of things that he's a part of, I'm glorified because it's about African people and assisting them in the best way possible. Nice. And he has finally come to the point where he and I have had this conversation where reestablishing the monarch and pursuing the crown at this time in human development is not pragmatic. You know, we are the royal family. The royal bloodline will always be the royal bloodline, and no, we're not discrediting or discounting the king throne. But the king, as I see, when he gave Ethiopia its constitution, that was a sign of change. And he was trying to prepare Ethiopia for that change. And that change has come. No matter how we try to remain on memory lane, or in nostalgia, change happened. And that's the only constant in life. And we have to embrace it and deal with it.
Okay. Well, you see now, that is why they bring him up, not to make like the program of him still. And I totally understand what you were saying before. But why I brought that up in the context of the new faculty of thinking. For example, you said when you met, this is when we broke off and you came back. You said when you met with the other ones, there was a lot of debating, or maybe not debating, but trashing out things and putting things on the table and looking at certain things. So I know, because you just made a statement that he may not look at it like we Rasta, but this is a different time. And there are many Rastas that don't even identify with the Solomonic lineage and the line of Judah and these different, as far as, well, let me not say the line of Judah as a title, but the Solomonic line story and everything. Because remember, a lot of Rastas right now going into a lot of archaeology and a lot of studying and a lot of history, and they're matching things together. They're not denouncing the king, but they're saying, well, no, man, this puzzle put together different, So I was wondering if that, where that fit in with the whole aspect of the new faculty of thinking. And even a broader question is, what were some of the other things that you all would have put on the table and discussed? Because I know religious writings, Bible, how we see the emperor, Rastafari, and the woman. I'm sure many different things would have to come into that, because trust me, take it from me, I can understand. Just the other night, I mentioned this on a program. I've been through a lot of things, even amongst the Naya Bingi, and the difference between Bobo and Bingi and who do this and who do that and read up and read down and all of this. So I was just interested to know from your perspective, especially through y'all have already had the in-house meeting, what are the different avenues of thinking that we need to look at as Rastafari, to evolve? But we can begin with our Solomonic lineage vibration.
Well, first and foremost, we don't need the Bible. Yeah, first and foremost, we don't need the Bible to endorse I and I liberty. We don't need the Bible to endorse the royal family and the royal bloodline. See, and we will, I'm an Orthodox Rasta. When I say Orthodox Rasta, I'm not talking about the church. I'm talking about the anciency.
Foundation, yeah.
Yeah, I look at things from the ancient point of view, seeing with a modern eye. You understand? So looking at things in a realistic way, the royal bloodline, the Solomonic line, remains the most important bloodline among the African nation of people.
That's deep.
Now,
that's a very deep point you make there.
Using the Bible, the King James Version, as we tend to want to do a lot in our life, because we had no other tool back when we had no other tool. We try to fit everything of our life, every aspect of our life in the Bible somewhere. I remember when Barack Obama
first one presidency here. I had Rastafari brethren calling Iman and quoting scriptures, reading from the prophecy to tell Iman, said this is the whatever, the savior, whatever, you know. And at the end of the day, yes, and I glorify the symbolism that a black man could sit down in at the White House. Yeah, we glorify that. You understand the symbolism and the symbolism that it shows, you know, black youths that if you aspire, you can reach. But outside of the symbolism, there was no tangible impact for I and I as a nation of people. See? So a lot of the scripture reading and a lot of the prophesying that I heard from certain ones, you know, and I at the time, I published a magazine here in Florida called Roots, Reggae and Culture for nearly going 20 years now. And if one's look back to the whole
edition, yeah, I published that. Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true.
Yeah, man. If you go back to and look at some of the old edition,
I know the magazine. I used to get it regularly. It's true, man. You see, yeah, but man, that was a while back too. So you know, it's now you just come back to me, please, Dougie, for real. Yeah, my lad.
And if you look through it, and if you look through the old edition, you will see a copy with Barack on the cover, and it was a question asked on the cover.
All before Barack appeared in the magazine. But go through, sorry.
Yeah, is he? And this was before he became president. This was when he was running, when he was campaigning to be president, and one was hyped up about him and hyped up about what he's gonna do when he gets in the White House. And I asked the question: is he truly the savior come to redeem, you know, the house of Israelites, or is he another Septimus Severus, the first emperor of Rome? Is he another? You understand? And at the end of the day, as we live and say, no disrespect to Barack and his family and what they symbolize, but again, he did not save us, redeem us. As a matter of fact, his time in the White House caused the hate scenario to re-emerge, you understand, and re-emerge at the level where today we are in the streets saying Black Lives Matter. So, you know, again, you know, we have to come away from saying all of that to say this. We have to come away from just using the King James Version to, you know, endorse or to, you know, quantify, you know, rationalize I and I liberty. Now, take away all, and I've heard, and I will agree.
But we don't have to. But okay, we don't. A lot of ones may be Bible bunnies then, but you're saying, and differently than King James, I hope you're not going there. The Bible, are you saying, okay, man, you don't have to use the Bible to prove everything, but you don't have to definitely throw it away? Because some people advocate. No. Some people advocate throwing it away or stop using it or cut it off and let's move on.
And that is the extreme things that we're talking about. No, my brethren. No, the Bible, what we wants to do is just put the Bible in its right perspective, in its right context. You know, whereas we will deem each other and call each other all kind of names. The man is this and that and all these different names. We call the Bible holy. And we attach this holiness to the Bible, you know, in a way where we don't attach it to our brothers and sisters in the same way. See, that is one context of it. Second, the Bible as we know it today, the King James Version, is a watered down version with a lot of symbolism in it. It is coded. Give thanks our elders were able to decode. You understand? But it's a coded book. See? We have writings that is 10 million years older than the Bible. The Egyptian Book of the Dead, as them call it. The Ethiopian Book of Light. There is the Faith and Negas. We have a whole lot of books. The Holies of Holies. We have many, many books that give I and I forward the same enlightenment as the Bible, the same historical, maybe as a matter of fact, more precise historical facts than the Bible, because those books depict people of color in a historical, truthful way versus the versions coming from the Septuagint right down to the New American version that constantly revises and changes to fit their scenario. You know, so that is where we're coming from with the Bible. We're not saying to throw away the Bible. I chant with Psalms and we use the prophecy in our rituals, you know, but we must grow beyond just using the Bible for to express and endorse every aspect of our liberty. And that is where the youths them today is coming from. And I will share a story with the item.
You know, your picture not on, right? I just letting you know. I don't know if you touched something. Just letting you know. But you're sounding perfect though.
Yeah.
But go ahead. The people love to see you though. But go ahead.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, they know.
Yeah. You know,
you're sharing a story with me.
One of my brethren here, Priest Dada. Yeah, my brethren Priest Dada had some family in town. And one of his family had an 11-year-old child, son, and he was acting up. So the mom came to the priest and asked him to have a talk with the youth. So he's there sitting in, reasoning with the 11-year-old child and his mother. And the youth was very forward, very forthcoming in his reasoning. The youth said, well, you know, I don't want to hear anything about the King James Version, because when he looks, what he reads and how life is based, the Bible have too many inconsistencies in it for him to hold on the Bible as the ultimate truth. Now, what would you say to a youth now that is expressing himself in such way? I'm not going to call down that youth and try to religiousize that youth.
Definitely not. For sure. No, man.
What I would have to do with that youth now is now point him to other books that may help him to understand better, you know, his experience, the Black experience, the African experience, you know, which is what today's youth is looking for. You know, religion has lost its luster for today's youth. That's why Rastafari has grown in such a short space of time, you know, to be a global movement, you know, because Rastafari is our way of life. It may have spiritual and religious connotations within it, different groups and different ones who come in it infuse their practices in it. But the essence of Rastafari, it is a way of life. And that way of life is, it's a set of people who speak on behalf of the marginalized, the disenfranchised, the oppressed, the down-pressed, the voiceless. And that has earned I and I the right to speak universally. You know, the indigenous people themselves, anywhere you go, and a Rastaman encounters indigenous ones from whichever regions, there is a bond. Because I've met the Kogi people, I've met different ones that are not of the African race, but we share an affinity because we have faced the same enemy and have gone through the same oppression and looking for the same liberation, redemption, salvation. So what Anna is saying with the new faculty of overstanding today is that let us reason as a family and look at the Bible. Look at the principles that we have practiced. Look at the principles. Look at how we hold our empresses. You know, how we minister to our youths. Look at how, you know, the kind of community that we are nurturing. You know, we tend to still maintain some of the seasoning farm attitudes where, no, we're not talking about polygamy, you know, because that's a whole nother reasoning. We're talking about bread. We're talking about brethren with many women having children all over the place and not able to maintain them or parent them. So you're just having youths growing without true parenting and falling victims to the system, being pawns in some cases, you know, of the system. So we need to look at all those practices as well.
I agree.
You know, this thing about debt again, and
a very important point.
and not dealing with, not sending off your loved ones, especially a Rasta man who live him life for all half a century within Rastafari, and when him pass, he's not ministered to by the house of Rastafari. He's now sent to his family for bury him. Fire burn. You understand? I have seen brethren that live them whole life as Rastafari, and when I attend their send off, is some guy sending him off in Jesus' name and some other names. We have to come to grips with these realities. Nobody not talking about embracing a dead body and all of that, Bridget. No one not talking about devouring yourself. But we have to come up with a practical way in which we give our family closure. See, when I read the Faith and Negas, it speaks to this. It tells you in ways in which you can send your loved ones on their journey to the ancestors. See, it's an African way. It's an ancient way. You understand? So even as Rastafari and the House of Priests and all the divine names that we bear, we need to come up with a reality, principle, practice, procedure, method in how we do this, my Lord. So things like,
well, let me say,
you know,
let me come in there too. This is an opportune time, and since we're talking about the, going on here. You hear me good? Since we're talking about the new faculty of understanding and the different levels of it, well, I must say, I know for sure when I came into this thing here, you get some hot fire. When I came into fire, it was pure hot fire. Anything with dead, you can't even talk about that. But I've come to, well, you know, Rasta never go funeral, it seemed like, until Rasta started to die. Because when I came in, man wasn't really dying yet. Maybe one or two man get killed by police.
Exactly.
But then after a while, reality started to kick in, you know. And, you know, I've heard elders speak of even within our order. I've seen the brethren them in the Beta Selassie, you know, of that group there, Beta Selassie, how Emmanuel Fox. They for sure have a tradition. I see them perform that in Barbados. The Honorable Priest Kailash, Honorable Priest Westmore, and some other ones. I know his Priest Kailash rise that service. A brethren, a prophet, Prophet Jade was murdered in St. Lucia about a month or so ago, and just about 2 strongs ago that they had an official ceremony for him. I haven't seen it, you know. I haven't seen it. I know it has been brought on the internet. But I think
wake I up to the truth, my Lord, and to the reality was when the father passed.
Yeah, but you see, I'm coming there, but I was coming straight to that too. Even with that situation there with a man like Priest Zebulon, who understood certain African rites and tradition, because we understand that the physical is not all, but the physical is yours. The physical is your flesh, it's your robe. And it's just like when somebody passes, Now because they pass and they leave something behind. If your father passed and he leave a treasure behind, you take care of his treasure. Nobody can come and go on his plot of land. Nobody can take up his nice car that he used to love, because that's not him, but that he used to cherish that. It's the same thing with your body. You know, if you just put this, even when we put it in the hand of the morgue, my Lord, even the morgue is a deadly thing, because they're going to walk with certain organs too and stuff them with newspaper. And that is a spiritual thing. Eh? People don't know that. That connects with the soul and the spirit. So
the Egyptians were the Egyptians were the greatest preparers of the body. The Egyptians taught the world how to deal with their dead.
But hear this quick before you come in now. But elders always tell me, Bobo Shanti, I could call the name too. I wouldn't do it right now. They clearly tell me, just say, when you go a road and you see the hearse, look the other way. Go ahead now. I know you have to know that one day.
Cultures, we got so many cultures, Bridget. See, and at a time they served us.
Yes.
They served us. When they came about, it was for a reason.
Okay,
you know, maybe we didn't fully understand it at the moment, but it was for a reason and it served us. But like everything else, nothing stays the same forever. You have to grow. You have to have an open mind and grow with reality. You understand? And that reality check came to I when the father passed.
Make his move. True. Yeah, I was there.
Virgin, I'm going to give the story right.
Go ahead, no, man.
Remember saying, I come at the father from I a 12-year-old, you know, my lad. The father treat I like a son, you know, it's him grow, you know. I don't know the father. I don't love no father like how I love him as a father. Not as no spiritual father, no God or no nothing, you know. I talk about a man who played the father role in I life.
Your daddy.
Not a him. See, when I first got the father, when I first robe, is that a guy? I first white robe, is that a guy? I never used to have no funds them time when I first got camp, because I never go a road, go hustle. I just did it, I learn. So when I want to draw her by the father guy, anything I needed, I go to the father. So he was a true father to I. So I thought about I father. See? So when I'm on the up here, I'm on here, said the father get injured. Him fell down going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And in ultimate pain and stuff. So I'm on fly down same time. Check out the situation, sister go on, and I get linked different Dr. Pee Wee and
is the eye okay? Is the eye they bring
I am priest Turks and
okay.
It was I and I virgin. So when I and I link in now, we find out so the father hip. It looked like him broke him hip.
Yes.
So I'm on fly up to the house in Miami. Link with the house in Miami, tell them, give them a report while I go on, and I jump together and we got a bomb and purchase a up-to-date wheelchair to move around the father while I'm healing.
His hip no burnout stuff. Go ahead.
And I got some bomb again and purchase a new bed for the father, something where you can throw the mosquito net over and an official thing for the father, set up a whole package for the father and ship down. So now, the day I'm in the airport, going down now to go clear the thing them for the father, I man get a call. Them days it was beeper. I man get a beep when I beeper. And I go at the call box and make the call. And when I make the call, is the word I get to the father pass. When I dip on the phone and I get the word my foot just go away, my knee them just go away, and I just couldn't stand up no more. I have to drop down on my butt and sit down. Because, you know, it was just nothing I could expect. See? So instead of catch the flight, I jump in a taxi forward and go over to the priest them and meet up with the family. And I Empress and other Empress them come, and Empress June, Empress Iopie, you know, Priest Knuckles and certain ones of I and I gather together and we lament, cry, we do whatever we did to do at that moment until we come, you know, get past the shock and the reality face we know of what needs to be done. So once I man need to still trod and go deal and see what's going on and see what needs to be done. So I man jump forward in our cab, reach at the airport, jump on another flight, reach down, grab a vehicle, reach up at the hill. When I come out of the vehicle at the hill foot and I go up the hill, when I reach at the top of the hill at the plateau now, heading for the camp gate, I'm on site, and I bridging Prophet Tugman. When I say Tugman, I say, my Lord, tell I say it's not so.
Oh my.
So tell I say it's not so. I will never forget the words. I said to Tugman, tell I say it's not so, my brethren. Him say, yes, my Lord. I saw, you know. And him say, as a matter of fact, I'm glad I come there. I need to go up fast because I have some man up there. I said this and some man, I said that. And I'm going to even share the story with the eye as embarrassing
and the
as
audience.
it may be. With the eye them, you know, as embarrassing as it may be to certain ones, but I have to deal with reality.
You don't. This is a tiger's nest, my God. Go ahead.
Yes, I have to deal with reality. Ones up there was saying, boy, don't bury him, don't touch the body, because I'm going to rise in 3D, and all kind of religious
we talk about that.
Proclamations and things and bridging and all kinds of talk. I see bridging that I haven't seen in many years coming in when I'm here. And all kinds of different connotations and different sounds and different, you know, opinions was being thrown around. Well, I reach up. I head up to the office. I'm on the Priest Turks. I ask Priest Turks, Wagwan. Say it is how you see it, you know. And say, but go up a job, go see Wagwan. That means I go up the palace. So I step up, I reach up at the palace, I hit the veranda and I head towards the father room. When I get close to the father room, I sent it And that sent them, like, I turned forward and head forward down. I couldn't face the reality. Because that sent alone, make I know, say, yeah, the reality is the reality. So I head down forward and link with Priest Turks and say, where we are going to do? And we made the plans and we did the thing and we carried the body, go get the body deal with, you know, send to who we send for, you know, get the doctor to come and pronounce the body and all of that. And the whole yard of how it got through. And we organized the laying away of the father. See, Jabello, Star Trail, Prophet Bello, at the time, he was in town. So we sent for him. He had a cargo van. Him come with the cargo van, carry the body, go get the body deal with. Him carry some brethren from country, from Mandeville, come dig the grave and, you know, pour libation and all them things there and deal with the thing how it's supposed to deal with. And the Friday morning, you know, we call a service. Ones and ones come in from all over the place and foreign and all about. And, you know, we lay the father away. So him could have face. So him spirit at least could have meet him Sabbath. See, that now was a reality check for Iman. Because before the father tried,
that couldn't happen.
No, before the father tried, I lost a son. I lost a son at the age of 13. And I sent to the father, because it was in here in Florida, and I sent him to the father, saying and ask what I for do, how I for deal with it, what I for do. Because I frazzle, I don't know what to do. I never deal with that thing, I don't know nothing about them thing there. So I asked the question. Father said, let our family deal with it, and I for just all I can. And so I know.
So he said, let your family deal with it. And you hold the corner.
And I hold my corner now. I have 13 youths I have in my lad with one queen. So you find, so now the rest of our youth them never get closure. Them never over nothing about the moment until when them grew up and we were able to sit down and talk about these things. And part of those pains still linger with Iman daughters and Iman sons up to today, because they didn't get that closure. They didn't get a ceremony. They didn't get any moment to really express the pain. They had to subdue the pain and just act like it's a normal day, because that is how Rastafari at that time did it. So when I hear Iman advocating introspection, you know, it is from he who feels it knows it point of view, because there are many Rastafari family that can give you similar stories from back in the day. You understand? And it is unfair to know that I and I would come together and lay the father away, but we wouldn't lay our own child that come from I and I lines away. So those realities we have to start to deal with, you know, the realities of life. That is what makes us a people. You understand? And no one is saying to corrupt yourself now, go embrace nobody. We are not the embalmers and preparers of the body, and we don't have anything with.
Let me jump in there now. Now, reality is reality. I don't see nothing wrong if we're the embalmers and the preparers of the body. And hold on, let me talk. Give me a second, please. And I know, just like how you say, well, you didn't say that. You say it might be an embarrassing moment. But King, trust me, anyone that come on this program, if you didn't bring it up, I would have asked you closer to the end. Remember, I tell you I have something to ask you. It's them levels I don't want to go on. Some people don't like me for it. People say I don't have to keep bringing it up. But I'm honored to be the man that bring this out. But hold on. What I'm saying though, this is just my opinion. How I see it, because just like how you see the same thing with Look Away From Hers, and even what the father told you with your use, and I know it's a while now, but full condolences. But I think I definitely stand in the breach there in some kind of spiritual frequency and prophecy. Because you came to the man when you were 12, the son was 13. I find that very deep. Just before, you know, as you say, your father make his move, your daddy there make his move. But anyway, I always vision, you know, because I believe in that a lot. I always vision that in our true community, there would be specific ones. Because if we really have a nation, we have to have a what you call a mob do. I believe that they would, hold on, give me a second, I'm going to give you the whole show.
No, man, I love it, man. I love it, man. Speak, man. Speak,
Okay,
my brethren. I want to hear you, man.
Right.
I want to hear you.
I believe that we have designated ones, not any old body. Like man that give their life for this. I say, yeah, well, listen, see them three man here? You know, we trying our best, we can live good. The brethren them in the Mona in by Ben Ami, although King Ben Ami passed through. That's a man I really wanted to meet, but Jalil, you know, but they keep a record of, you know what I mean, a long longevity then. So if you run a community like that, you're not looking for nobody jack out straight. But still, when it happens, they have three man that you call. Say, hey, so-and-so make a move now. Them man is who go for that. They designated for that. And they train for that. Even if we still in the time and then get so-called Babylon training and certified for that. And take
you can't run a kingdom without them thing, them a brother.
And deal with that.
Without
and then
king,
now,
how we can run a kingdom?
Then even us that carry up the ceremony, because even though I didn't see the ceremony, I understand it was like 2/10. So it's not like how the world do it, like the preacher and the dead between you and the preacher. It's not like that, you know. But the dead thing is a serious thing, ain't no joke. Even as spiritual beings, we can't run from that. So it's not to say, as you just say, hug it up. But I always see like, even when it's going into its final, where it's blowing away in the wind, now throwing away and the sea, going in the earth. While that going down, a distance, a sensible distance, you can see it then. The service of the remembrance of life going out in the way that the Father teaches. That's what I see. Not it between us and we following it too. And no, I personally don't really believe in all of that. And I believe that's the level that we need to reach. So I really do, even though that's not exactly how I see it, but I really applaud even what the brethren them did in St. Lucia. I think that's a mark on history.
Hear what I would add to that now, my brother.
Yes, my lord. Good. Your program.
The African tradition is to celebrate the life.
Definitely.
So that is what we do in that moment. We don't mourn and we don't go on like Babylon and rolling in dirt and talking in tongues and ray and eulogy and eulogy and all them things. No. We celebrate the life of our Father. We celebrate the legacy of our loved ones is what we celebrate. You understand? And we have to, brethren, we have to. The same way we love the Father. The man said, you have to love yourself first. That's one thing I learned from Dada Emmanuel. See, him say, any man will say him love Jah more than him love himself is a liar. You have to love yourself. And if you love yourself, brethren, you have to love your children and you have to love your family, your bloodline.
I love it, man. I love it. I give thanks. This is necessary. A couple other things too, you know, within our tradition. But before we come off of that talk, you know, so what you have anything to say about everybody that I ever speak to, speak about the magnificent whirlwind during the time of the burial. Now, you are a man. I ain't dissing nobody else I ever talk to, you know, but I know you how you talk in there is you no makeup thing. Not nobody make up anything. I was
Oh, I know where they I mean, Virgin. I don't know where they I mean. I know you don't want to disrespect nothing. No, yeah.
You know, put no extra sweetener in the sugar. I in the pot. Tell me what you know. Just tell me if you don't know, you don't know. You just don't know. The whirlwind.
We don't know about no whirlwind.
You got to be kidding me, King.
That's special more than any other special, Virgin. I don't know no whirlwind no special more than any other time. Okay. The only thing I know that happened during that special moment is that after we laid the Father away, you almost have to say the whole camp came down with that illness.
Yeah, I hear that too.
Even when I left and came back to foreign, myself, my Empress, and all I and I who were there, we came down with it same way. So that was the only thing that was significant. And the only whirlwind I know about, the only time I can talk of something like that is at the Rastafari Unity meeting that was called on Bubba Hill. One of the meetings was kept at Bob Marley Place, one was kept at University of the West Indies, and one was kept up at Bubba Hill.
Tell me about this one, King. Tell me about it. I don't know about this. Tell me about it.
The first one was held in May of 78. See? And the ones them the 13 group of Rasta. At the time it was 15 group. Okay. I and I Bubba would be the 15. So you had 14 outside of I and I. 12 tribe didn't come. Didn't send any representative. So 13 groups came. I was at I held flag at the south door. So I'm speaking from reality.
Yeah, man.
13 groups came. Sam Brown, all of the famous names were there. Jabones from England, all of the famous names were there. Jalide, Bono G's.
Rasta God.
All of them was there, Bridget. Except for, like I said, except for Gad or anyone from Gad's school.
Thunder, brother.
They said at the opening of the gathering, because we hosted them in one of our tabernacle. It wasn't
so Bongo Watu in the house.
In the house, in flesh. Seeing? And like I said, we hosted them in one of our tabernacle. It wasn't the one that we kept Sabbath service in. We had another one which we kept for reasoning and
inside,
things like that at the time. So that is the one we had the meet at.
True.
They said that they came
Gilbert blood on that.
Yes, exactly. That was the square one. Anyway, them said they came because they wanted the Father's input into this unity that was essential to the growth of the movement, but could not happen without the Father's presence. So the Father facilitated it. So I was there, here all of the reasoning. They said at the end of that discussion, they set a date, which was the 26th of July, to return for a continuation. They even came up with a name, which was the Organization of Rastafari Unity, to mirror the Organization of African Unity. See? Now, on that 26th, the Father, prior to the 26th, the Father had I and I working. We shut off fire, we clean the place, we whitewash the tree root them and the rock them throughout the camp. And we clean up and we fix up the fences and we make sure that the road, was set up, patch up in whatever way we could. We had a truck come and drop a whole thing of mall on the road and make sure that the road was drivable for them, and so forth and so on. And on the 26th, the media was there, but no Rastafari elders turned up. The Father was in full white with them rods, standing on his veranda, looking on the sea, looking down on the sea from his veranda. And he stood up there for a good length of time. I can't tell if it was 3 hours or much hour, but it was a good length of time because I pass, come, and the Father don't move. Him just stand up there looking down on the sea. And I could see the pain in his face. I could see the pain of the moment in his face to know that it comes so close on his tenure, because I remember him started it in 1958 at Bakawal with the first groundation, and him see it take this long to get another one come together, and it came this close, and again egos and arrogance caused the failure of it. So the man was in himself perturbed. So him stand up and looking out on the ocean for a while. And during that day, all of a sudden, a dark cloud come over Bull Bay from nowhere. God, it was bright, shining sun. A dark cloud come from half of the sea and just come right over the camp. And with the cloud came a piece of whirlwind that from up on the hill, we were looking down in the ghetto, looking out down on the people them down at the foot of the hill. And we could see roof, zinc top blow off, fence blow down. See people are run down them clothes, they blow off a line, and down there just look chaotic. See? You see when I left Nangwa town the next day, I see tree blow down up near my old lady place. I see evidence of the damage. And they call it on the radio a freak storm. Saying
Adam King, brother.
And that is my only thing that I can tell you.
Yeah, man, you can't play the God, brother.
Of a mysticism. You understand?
That's deep, man.
Wrinkle, because it was about the people. You see, when it comes to the people,
oh my.
It's the same way I see the Father wrinkle anytime there was a incident back in the 70s when several Africans were trapped in the South African mine, and several of them died during that time. And that was the first time I ever said the father rat. I said the father rat, and the father called for fire for light at the four corners of the camp. And we had to keep fire lit at the four corners of the camp for 21 days.
Yeah, boy, sorry.
And he wanted drum to continue, and he wanted drum to beat for the 21 days non-stop. Not 1 minute. Not 1 minute must the drum stop beat. I remember several nights, Virgin, playing Funde and fast asleep. Plus arrest there, chanting Funde for the Keteman, seeing, because we had to go all night, and each of us, it had to go in waves. Every man had to do him stint on the drum, because Jai wanted drum round the clock, see, and that is how much the father wrinkle. That is how important in people is to him. Is the only other person outside of Garvey, me see, express the love for the African people in such a emotionally passionate way, Virgin, on a serious level. And I, Father, you know, so, and I give thanks, you know, and I give thanks, the knowing of the man and seeing the love of the man. Him infuse that same love, you know, in I and I. Way.
But no, the four corners of the thing. I mean, because many times even when I go Jamaica, when I went to the hill, well.
Yeah, was a science man, you know, Virgin. Yeah, was a science man. People afraid of them word. Man, people afraid of them word there.
Afraid of science man. It's obvious, man. I was going to say, you science.
Me say, man, the Negro man say, Kabbalah. Wow. See, people afraid of them thing there. Voodoo, people afraid of them thing there because the white world teach us to fear the weapon that hurt them the most. The weapon that they fear the most, they have taught us to fear it, so we don't use it against them. See? Well, the father was a science man, and everything the father do, you can link to African Scientology. Everything him do, Virgin. I come see it in I research within either the I Egypt studies or in I Ethiopian Nubian studies. I see the same kind of ceremonies, the same kind of numbers. You understand? The power of 7, the power of 9, the power of 13. And I see throughout the African Scientology. See, our father was a scientist, man. So when him called for the fire for light at the four corner, it was a reason. Him called for the jump for chant round the clock, it was a reason. See,
pause, man, pause.
Just like before him Chad, the December before him Chad in 94 in a May 31st. 94.
That's exactly what I was just going to ask.
December the 10th, 93. I get a call. I there Philadelphia. I am Priest Cyril. And I get a call. And I get a call and Priest Turks call and say the father say him want I to come in for the 10th and him don't want I to miss it. Any which way I come and I must just come. And them send I get a letter from camp with an invitation, an official invitation to what was called the Feast of the Passover. See? That was a sign that the father get prepared to chant, my brethren. And we now read the signs, you know, because we're so caught up in a religion. We're so caught up in religion that we're not reading the signs. Because that was one of the signs.
Go ahead.
That was one of the signs right there. Come to the Feast of the Passover where now. It's the first time in all the years where we are walk with the father that we see the father send go buy goat. And them thing there, I say, what go on so now? And an official sacrifice.
They say we shouldn't talk about this, right? But go ahead.
An official sacrifice was done the same way as it was done in ancient time. See, within a certain timing, the blood was was used, poured in the land, done in a. When I go back and I do research, it's the same way I do it in the ancient tradition of Africa, brethren. See, but I wasn't reading the signs, again, caught up in religion. See. The sacrifice go on, the Feast of the Passover went through, very mystic. I mean, it's the first time I ever see camps so full with people.
Get a little soft, but go ahead.
People. I mean, camp was filled with people. It's the first time I have ever seen so many people come to a celebration. See, in the Feast of the Passover. So, these are the things that I have experienced in a realistic way with the Father.
Yeah,
but we are now again coming back to the faculty, the new faculty of overstanding.
But now before you go to the faculty, quick, because I know time in there too and everything. I coming back to that last whirlwind now. I have to clarify this before we even move on. Now, trust me, King, that's important there too. And it's as if I knew I would get a different thing from you. I don't know, you could feel the energy from point blank. I don't know why. Now, King, I have a list of people. Some of them have come on my program. At least 8 people have come on my program, not just on YouTube and other programs that I've done, and testify of that being there. I could call the names. And other people, other Bobo Shanti, man, woman, priest, prophet, and empresses have testified to me. I can start listing them out in a King, because I've done it already. I can start. Some of them have been on the same program. And I know you have to hear about this. I mean, this is big talking Bobo Shanti, and ones that were there, they all testify. I've never come across no Bobo Shanti that was there. And I asked them, and you could see I'm a journalist, and I asked them about the whirlwind. And anyone ever tell me, King, I don't know what that man talking about. You're the first. I just put in that to you,
Well, Bridget, I can't testify to something I never experienced, and I was here full time. I Empress was there. We were all there. But I have heard a lot of stories,
you hear that?
Bridget.
Of course.
I have heard it, and I've heard a lot of stories. But nothing we can do, nothing we can add will make the Father any greater.
King, you don't need to add nothing.
He is. Exactly, my brethren. So I cannot add nothing more than the reality of what I experienced. The Father is the divine entity, the most divine person I'm on. I never studied the Emperor, so I don't know Emperor in flesh to make that declaration. I know of the Emperor's works, his divine works, his exemplary works, his exemplary achievement in discipline as a human, and all of that. But I walk with King Emmanuel as my Father. And there's no other person that I have come across in life that carry that divine nature as the man. I give respect to the present Dalai Lama, who I am a fan of, because I read a lot of his writing, and I find a lot of his writing sound like
of course.
Things that the Emperor writes sound like things that the Father King Emmanuel expressed, because they are spiritual kinsmen.
What are you talking about, King?
They are spiritual kinsmen. You understand? So they share the same or similar energies. Yes, they share similar energies in how they express their spirituality. So I find that man, the Dalai Lama, I will give him a certain amount of respect. You understand? As a divine entity.
No, just in our respect of your time, because I know we have a time in for you too, so I'm watching it for you. So yes, you're saying about the new faculty now. We can, look to put wrap a bow around it and land the plane in respect of your time too.
Yes, beloved. Well, the new faculty, what we're trying to do is engage with the community, wherever we are in numbers, or wherever we are in, whether numbers are easy, we are just a handful. But engage the family in this reason of change.
Speak up just a bit. You gone a little bit.
We have to engage, we are trying to engage the family in this discourse of change. Because the world is at a crossroad. Humanity is at a crossroad. Africa is at a crossroad. And Rastafari find I and I selves at a crossroad as well. And the call for a new faculty is not new. It was called for in 1958 by King Emmanuel. It was called for again in the 70s by Mortimer Plano. And by several other Rasta Silva of the Unification Committee. They have all called for a reasoning to.
So wait, Mortimer Plano was there too in 78?
Yes, sir, he was.
Tell me. That means all 13 groups had to come together and say, hey, now go back up there now.
Something sabotage it. I never, something sabotage it. Something sabotage it. We just never know what it was.
Maybe not one group, It's 13 group,
Yeah. The arrogance of them, the arrogance of them. I guess maybe them never like what the Father said. Because ones were was promoting certain initiative. Ones wanted to take money from the government to build community center. One wanted to do this, one wanted to do that. And Dada told them that any man will take any money from the government when time come for I and I repatriate. Him can't pass post royal. which is the seaport out by Kingston there. See? So he must show them say from you sign your name to that, as Garvey say, you sign your rights away. So, you know, I guess one's never did love that. He was promoting again Marcus Garvey's initiative of self-reliance and self-sufficiency. See, do for ourselves where we're looking for others to do for it. You understand? And we can do it. Up to this day, you understand, we are still fighting for that reality to do for ourselves. So again, the new faculty is to engage the family, the communities in a dialogue to see where we are and what has us stuck, like how it's stuck. What is what keeps us divided? What are the divisive practices and principles that, you know, keep us apart? Why cannot we find that valuable resource, essence of solidarity, unity, common unity? It is what community is built on, common unity. And we can't find it to come together. We find Bobo, Bingi, 12 tribe, who eat this and who don't eat that. And we all should come together under the premise of Mother Africa, redeeming Mother Africa. Let us take back what is ours, redeem back what is ours. Then we can sit down and sort out the little fine-tuned details of this and that and, you know, all those other little semantics that we tend to make most important right now, which is least important. See? So that is what this conversation is about. The new faculty of understanding is not about creating any new doctrine or any new reasoning. It's about assessing what motivated the start of the Rastafari movement. What was its aim and objectives, its mission? Did we succeed in the mission? Have we achieved our objectives? If not, why haven't we grown beyond where we are? And how can we do that with the present climate the way it is? What will it take? What do we need to do? This is what we want to talk about. How do we dispel some of these phobias and myths and allegories that keep us boxed in that religious box and keep us trapped and not able to make the moves outside the box, think outside the box and come up with innovative, you know, ingenuity that Africa needs today to carry to where it needs to be. That is the conversation we want to have. And that is the essence of it. Nothing new. We're not talking about throwing away the Bible. We're not talking about none of the rumors that people tend to spread when they hear something different. See, we tend to fear difference. No, this is not about that. This is about talking about our reality and how it is today, what affects us. How do we solve the problems that face us? How do we build the bridge from the diaspora to the mother continent? You know, how do we go home to learn or relearn what it is to be an African? Again, that is another point. Are we going home to carry home another religion? Are we going home to tell Africans who never left the continent, who were never enslaved and taken out of the continent, how to be Africans? You know, so these are the questions. These are some of the conversation that we want to have. You know, we're going to go into Africa and tell Africans, you have to do this and you can't do that. And your ritual way you do for the last 2,000 years, you can't do it no more because Rasta not do that and Rasta not deal with that. And Rasta. Are we on that mission? Are we on that crusade?
Go put on some clothes.
So these are the questions that we need to be reasoning about. I don't have the time to talk about who have the flag up and who is the flag down and, you know, those like semantic things and what houses. We are fingers on the same hand. We are all one father's children. We are all one father's children. We are fingers on the same hand. I and I, Bobo, and no, I want to clarify this to the people. We're not Bobo Shanti. Shanti has some old mashed down building. We are Bobo Ashanti. See? And you see, I and I, the host of a Bobo Ashanti priest.
Oh, okay, you make me real jolly tonight, yeah?
We are the priests. We are the priesthood order. The only black fraternity of the cloth in the Western Hemisphere. I and I. See, at home you have the Yoruba and you have many different ones. But here in the Western world, the Bobo Ashanti priests, we are the black fraternity of the cloth. See, we are the priesthood order of the Rastafari movement. People can call themselves anything they want to call themselves, but it's a liberty to pick and dictate who you are. And I live the order 24/7. That's why we have a Psalms reading and with different rituals and practices that we practice to keep our spiritual energy up and alert and aware at all times.
King, hear this now. I know we have minutes, but I want from your perspective. And again, even though it's not like everyone, even within the faculty, because you're bringing it to a different perspective to me. And to be honest, like the Empress told me about the first meeting in Ethiopia there, and I think I would really like to sit amongst this and I know the reasoning would be not only constructive but well moderated, so man can speak properly. Because that's, to me, that's the gem of proper reasoning. Not talk and okay, let me interrupt you, not to cut you. No, that's not how it is. Especially amongst ones that really have something sensible to say. But the Empress shared a very strong view as it relates to Europeans or people of Caucasian persuasion, if you want to call it that, within Rastafari. She did bring it to the forefront, speaking of the faculty. How do you look at that? Let me ask you that straight up, because we don't have too much time.
Well, first and foremost, the gate has been opened and there's nothing we can do about that. Okay, if Haile Selassie the First and Empress Menen are the divine entities that we proclaim them to be, then we cannot restrict any living entity, animal or human, from giving honor and paying homage to such entities.
You really made me laugh tonight, eh?
See, so when it comes to that aspect, I just want to make that clear. We can't stop anyone from being a part of that entity. That means the spiritual part, the religious part, and all of that. We can't stop one from holding on the emperor and saying that he's their God and king and their inspiration.
I wouldn't expect so that.
What we're talking about when we say the African Rastafari now, we find that we, the African people, coming out of slavery and colonialism and so-called independence and all of that, seeing we are plagued by certain oppressive practices and phobias, that hamper I growth. So we want to get the African thing together before we can engage anybody else. Saying there is a situation that needs to be dealt with between the Caucasians and the non-African Rastafari and how they proclaim and live their culture, because people indigenous to certain regions and they claim themselves to be Rastafari, they cannot be talking about them want to go home Africa, because
I hear that.
They're indigenous. They're indigenous to where they're from. See, but they can still give homage to Africa for being the incubator of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So there are certain reasoning we have to have as a
many
family
reasoning
with the various branches of the family. But right now we are focusing on the African family. You understand? We getting our house together first before we go deal with another man and females. We're taking that big old plank out of our eye first before we go try to take out the little speck out of the next man eye. So that is where we're really there with that. So I beyond that, I have many brethren from various indigenous orders that embrace Rastafari that are my brethren artically. See, and I will never denounce them. Okay, but Rastafari, the African Rastafari, have to get him thing together. So now we can set the table and invite the other entities to the table and now trash it out. So every man can be within their own order, in their own space, defending their own right to be who they are.
This is a heavy work, King. In closing, how should I ask? Is there a time frame you see? Obviously, the progress is going to have to continue. It has to be ongoing.
Well, here's the thing now. We set a summit, we set a time for a summit.
Yes.
Next year, May 25th. Yeah, Liberation Day in Ethiopia. And we would like delegates from the different groups, mansions, organizations, and individuals you
To
know,
come,
who have
for
something
sure.
to contribute, who have something to contribute to come. We are not engaging any naysayers, any troublemakers, any divisiveness within our midst. The
But
days of
King,
that is over. The days of those things are over.
but
Coming to I
but
and I
but but,
gathering to
but King, you
no.
have people that, yeah, remember, you know, this, we have to, even in our tolerance, we have to understand Rastafari has a certain culture. And as you say, the graybeard man, and so they're still there. Some of the graybeard man, even I have a one or two graybeards busting out there too. I still, we come in a time, they are definitely before me, because even before I born you, as I said, 12 years old. But still, the point is that me personally, it's like I came into a time when there was this shift taking place. So I get to see a lot of the old and a lot of the new, if you want to call it that. What I'm saying, King, I'm not upset. This is me. I'm not upset with the Bingy man. You see, like me, like around here in Antigua, I mean, there was a time when, just as Bobo, there wasn't too many of I. And I personally, I always around the Bingy house, always. And I've always been Bobo. So I kind of grow to have a certain love amongst, but there are some hot ones that even I would call him my father. They deal with me, with my brother, my father, full love, you know. But there are times when it just have to come up. And then man will say, priest, listen, this and that, and burning chalice and head cover and come in the Bingy house and all sorts of things. To be honest, it's because of me some of these things happen, because they would, to the respect they would have for I. So the priest can come in the Bingy house with his turban. Sometimes they're like, you know, when the old man drunk and he just gets off his head, and they will say, listen, man, this is the order of the Bingy, you know, by right, this is not supposed to happen. And King, I'm a man, I don't fight the Bingy. Now, me personally, I'm not taking off my turban to go into a man tabernacle. But, I mean, I fight with them at an airport to take off my turban. But what I'm saying, King, I'm not forcing to come in either. I respect your tradition because I come and meet it. I see it. I know your tradition.
I go Bingy all the while, Virgin. Same
Right.
way. I don't take off my turban. I don't go in the tabernacle. I stay outside and around the tabernacle. I sing and I chant.
There you go.
I am the Virgin.
There you go.
Even when I know that I can, even when I know I can go in the tabernacle.
There you go.
I don't.
Because you respect the order.
Yes, I respect the man, the order.
There you go, King. Well, that's it. And if man can live like that, Ras, everything cool.
Well, that's why I saying there is a summit we are organizing for May 25th in Ethiopia, in Addis. Okay. On the ground is Empress Desta taking care of the organizing, you know.
Wow.
There on the ground in Ethiopia, among other ones, but she's heading it up as part of the faculty. And you know, in Ghana you have Daddy Basco. In South Africa you have Rasta and Empress Yasantewa, who are, you know, the organizers. So and we are between now and then we are looking for many more ones to sign on as committee members to help make sure that this thing come off in the way it should. But we are not setting a table for confrontation. We are setting a table for dialogue, intelligent dialogue amongst family members. This is blood members. We are African Rastafari. So we are one father's children coming around the table to reason about our father's works and our future. See, we want ones that have something to contribute, ones who can shape the narrative, ones who can draft the map. You understand? Different ones with different skill sets will be needed to make this futuristic and historical move a reality. And any Rastafari that don't see this as a necessity right now, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Whatever you so-called believe, even if you think it should be the same old, and however it stay, even you, because there are many that are springing up that are challenging you. So you should say, yeah, man, let's go and hear what they say, because they can't remove the old marks that the emperor. The emperor said the Bible. The emperor said the Bible is glorifying the Bible, and nobody touched Solomon. And if that's what you believe, come in.
Yes, same way. But this is about alleviating our common enemy, which is, we're not talking about a race of people, because no race of person is my enemy. The common enemy that I man have, seen, is poverty, seen, and ignorance.
You have 6
That's
more
what
minutes
this,
to the time in there you told me, right? But yeah,
yes,
poverty and ignorance.
poverty and ignorance is what we are fighting against. That's the common enemy. So that is what we are going to be focusing on. How can we alleviate the oppression of poverty on the Rastafari, the African Rastafari family? See, and how can we dispel the ignorance that keeps us apart from forging the solidarity that we need as a people? How can we help the mothers to grow their children, because it takes a village to grow a child? How can we recreate that village vibe so we can grow great children once again, conscious children who will permeate our culture into the future centuries to come? See, that is what this is about, family. This ain't nothing strange, nothing, you understand? We give thanks.
Give thanks, my Lord. I'm honored again. This was a very wonderful interview. You know, from the last program I put up, I guess the laugh was needed. That's it. You know, just the way you present, you know. But I'm very thankful, my Lord. Definitely full respect for this interview. I would say a little more than I expected. So I'm very thankful for the information, a lot of inspiration there. I have to definitely go over it again, and maybe we'll do it again another time. I myself, that Ethiopia move there, something I contemplated. The Honorable Empress did invite me to come
No, man,
forward.
we need the eye them there, man. People like the eye who have the ears of the people need to come, and so you can testify, bear the testimony to your listening audience of the reality of change that we need and
I have
that we
many
are
plans too, no?
initiating.
I have many plans to share, what people call ideas. I have plans that
of
were
course.
ideas. I have plans that were ideas, and their plans now have enough things. I mean,
I have many of the eye video, Rasta. I have enough of the eye knowledge that I have listened to. So I know the eye is a well knowledgeable bridge, you know? So that goes without saying, you know. But before I end, I want to send love out to all the groups of Rastafari, all the mansions of Rastafari, all I bridge in Bombo, being the 12, School of Vision, all the different mansions. But most of all, I want to send love out to I House, you know, the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, all its members and sympathizers and loved ones, you know. Heart of love, heart of blessing, just hold tight in this COVID-19 perilous time. You know, our Father prepared us for it. So just hold on upon him salvation, and you know, we'll float. With Jah in the boat, I will bear all the storm, you know, we'll survive all the storm.
Rastafari.
Well, Emmanuel,
Selassie, Jah.
Rastafari. Heart of love.
To my Lord. Well, you know how to let yourself out, eh? I'm going to say a last word, not a last word.
Yes, my Lord.
Word. Yeah, so you can see yourself out.
Sir.
Yes, my Lord, give thanks. Yes, that's the Honorable Priest Dougie that we had with us there, my Lord. Yes, he gave us a wealth of knowledge and information there. And I give thanks again for all those who were with us. Don't run gun away. Where you going? Just he doesn't run in so fast. Eh? Yes, just reminding you for sure that we are definitely highlighting what is taking place on when we're doing this, my Lord. It is the 1st of November. Oh yeah. Hey, tonight is the 7th of October. Do you know that this program is recorded here, the 7th of October? And you may say, what's the importance of the 7th of October? The 7th of October, I should have told that to the Honorable Priest there. That must be told. The 7th of October is the coronation of Negus, 1928, the 7th of October. So we're going to do some celebrating now, my Lord. We have some patties in the oven there. Some peas. Well, some people say them patty yachty they deal with. So well, we have some yachty in the oven there. We're gonna, you know, drink some sea moss and bun some chalice. You know? So yeah, give thanks. You know, of course, remember the 1st of November. Just giving you that word, the 1st of November. This is another online lecture. Definitely the first one was wonderful. Rastafari and the Womb Man. Of course, I'm inviting you now to definitely join us for that event. It will be a wonderful and dynamic expression. All the information, of course, is on the poster as well. And remember, this is the 1st of November, the the 7 p.m. Eastern Caribbean time. Admission is only $20 United States currency. And of course, the Cash App is available at AtonRa2723. And if the Cash App is a problem, you could definitely email us to get more information. And yes, Prince, I was telling them about our special 1 hour homeschool class that we will be having on the 25th day of October. That's just a few Sundays from now. That's 3 p.m. in the afternoon. 3 p.m. It's children friendly. So in the afternoon, 3 p.m. So bring all the children, get the laptop or put it on the smart TV, whatever you have, hook it up and bring the couch and everybody sitting. And we're going to have a jolly good time. Myself, Prince. Yeah. All about programs are children friendly. Definitely, you give thanks, my Lord. Everything we do are children friendly. So you got to watch your language when you come on here. And for sure, we'll be having a wonderful time. We're going to be flying through space. Yeah, man, bring the children. Man, if we were doing it in the night, you're going to lock off the lights. You'll feel like you're in, some sort of 3D space thing. I was going to say Disney World, but, you don't want to promote. Yeah. But at the same time, we'll be traversing space with Captain Prince Almasa. He definitely carries us through space. The Honorable Princess Acacia Menin, of course, she will be carrying us through the earth, and we'll be visiting different spots in Africa. We'll be highlighting some of our great African kings. We'll be showing you how the planets are made up. We'll be just carrying you through the zone just for an hour, but it's free. It is totally free. All you have to do is email me, again, priestisiaac27@gmail.com. And once you email me, we will send you the link to come in. We will ask you a few questions, specifically once you want to come into the homeschool 1 hour classroom online. If you want to come into that, we'll ask you a few questions, especially the children, how many children, etc., etc. And you're going to come in, and it's going to be a wonderful day. And that's the Sunday before the 1st of November. Of course, that is the big grand lecture. That's in the evening now, 7 p.m. The children can come to that too. And remember, once you are a subscriber to the Shock of the Hour, once you're a subscriber to the Shock of the Hour, for sure, you definitely do not have to pay to come into this. We will definitely send you your pass key once you are a subscriber to the Shock of the Hour. So it is better, to be honest, that you subscribe to the Shock of the Hour. I mean, you know what the subscription to the Shock of the Hour all about. I mean, that's when you get our radio program that is recorded every evening. That comes straight to you in your inbox after the program is recorded, or at least by the next day. And you definitely will hear what took place the evening before, whatever program that we brought forward to you. So give thanks again for your presence. It was a wonderful lecture, conversation with the Honorable Priest Dougie, and I think we should even seal you up with the song Naya Bingi here, in righteousness of salvation. So yeah, give thanks. If you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of the Bible, Holy Emmanuel. Courtesy 77 redeemed 77. Summary. Astronomy K. Class 17. Pluto was once considered the 9th planet, but in 2006 it was demoted to the status of a dwarf planet, although the ancients thousands of years ago already considered that was the 9th planet. Because it is so far away from the sun, it is very cold, with temperatures ranging from minus 235 degrees Celsius to minus 210 degrees Celsius. Pluto consists of rock with a very thick coating of ice. The atmosphere of Pluto consists of nitrogen and some carbon monoxide and even methane. Blessed love.